Oh my god. We glazing classroom of the elite. We studying it. We studying in the classroom of the elite. So, plot engineering breakdown by Yumasuke's library. Oh my god. Classroom of the elite though, like I just feel like nobody be talking about Classroom of the Elite, man.
In this school.
I'm happy to see this video because it's just like, honestly, there's actually a lot of anime out, but I feel like people aren't really talking about them. Like, there's Classroom of the Elite season 4. I know Classroom of the Elite isn't super popular, but I expected a bit more chatter around it, at least. Now, I know people hate this one, but yes, there's Rent-A-Girlfriend season 5. I know. How did it get a season 5? Now, honestly, it is a funny comedy anime. If you take the plot seriously, though, and you want Kazuya to end up with Chizuru, then yeah, you're going to go brain dead. You're going to get angry and annoyed. But it actually really is crazy. Like, why does it have 5 seasons when there's so much better romance anime out there that could get an anime? Like, there's Horimiya, there's... I don't know if Kaguya-sama is still continuing. Like, it's pretty wild.
Class D has a problem. Points are like money, and they won't get any points if they perform badly in the midterms. Plus, if any student gets a failing grade, they'll be expelled. This is the midterms problem. The overarching goal of the season is to surpass Class C, taking their spot. Hirata tries an incremental solution. They study as a group and then pass the midterms. But there's a problem.
Hiruto is like one of the only like guys in Classroom of the Elite that has like above average intelligence. Like most of the class, like the majority of every class is kind of filled with NPCs. The one thing I'll give Hirata is he's kind of smart. Like he is kind of smart.
Pseudo doesn't want to, and he's probably the dumbest in the class. Yamauchi
doesn't Pseudo literally have the like lowest test scores in the class?
He and EK also refuse. We'll call this the dummy problem. Horikito's solution is to invite the 3 dummies to a private study session, but they all refuse when the protagonist asks. Ayanokoji tries a different solution. He gets Kushida to be the ambassador. This successfully brings the dummies to the lesson, but a new problem appears. Horikito's rude to Pseudo, so he and the other dummies leave. This is the attitude problem. Kushida tries talking to her, but she's too stubborn. A plot can be broken down into problem-solving cycles. In this video, I will analyze the first arc, the midterms arc, of Classroom of the Elite.
Okay.
In episode 3, Koji tries to bring Pseudo back, but he refuses. Then Kita tries. She gives him a study guide she wrote and argues.
And since Pseudo's simp for Harikta, let me guess, he actually decides to do it.
That if he loves basketball, he should pass the test so that he can continue to play for the school. The dummy and attitude problems are solved. The reason she fixed her attitude is probably the realization that losing a classmate could hinder her goal of reaching Class C. This logic is shown at the end. Koji brings Kushida for his plan. The problem is that they need test answers. This is the answers problem. Koji's solution is to make a trade while using Kushida's beauty. He donates his points to an upperclassman in Class D in exchange for quiz and test questions. The last part of his plan is...
Bro, it's funny because I low-key do remember this. I remember this scene where Kushida's just like, oh, please give the points. It really is hilarious. I wonder... I actually don't remember if this happened in season 4. Maybe that's why I remember it. I don't know if he's actually breaking down season 4 of Classroom of the Elite or if he's just kind of doing it in general. Like, this might be the first season, but I don't know.
For Kushida to give everyone the questions the day of the test to ensure that they don't memorize just the questions. Because of this, the midterms problem is solved. Almost. Pseudo got a failing grade, creating the Pseudo problem. He failed by 1 point, but Koji wasn't going to let that slide. His solution is to ask the teacher to sell him 1 point to add to Pseudo's test.
Yup, I remember this. Is this not like season 1 or season 2? Yeah, this is season 1 or 2.
Score. It costs 100k points, which is a problem for Koji because he doesn't have that. So Kita saves the day by adding in her points. It works and the Pseudo problem is solved, thus solving the midterms problem. This arc had good plotting because of the advanced plot techniques that it used. The first is the nested problem, a problem within a problem. There's the midterms problem. Within that is the dummy problem, attitude problem, and answers problem. Only by solving these 3 problems can the midterm problem be solved. But after those 3 are passed, then the Pseudo problem appears. Once the main duo passes this, they also pass the midterms problem. Nested problems make the engineering of the plot cycle more complex. The next technique is incremental solutions. This is when a solution has multiple steps before solving the actual problem. To solve the midterms problem, the main characters created study groups as step 1, and then distributed test answers as step 2. Layering the solution with steps makes it more complex. Finally, the plot twist of buying a test point pays off the early statement that points can buy anything. The points create a unique system of problem solving.
Yeah, this was this I actually liked. Like it felt like the point system was real. Like I loved. Yeah, I definitely agree on this. Being able to buy that one extra test point for pseudo was awesome.
As good as the plot engineering is, there's one major weakness when comparing this arc to another 3-episode high school intro arc. Rascal Does Not Dream is also a high school anime, where the first arc is the first 3 episodes, but it has way more going on.
This is like the Bunny Girl Senpai thing, right? I think I only watched like one episode of this anime. I never really got into it.
My video breaking down the entire arc, it took up over 2 pages. My analysis for this arc took up less than a page. That's because there is so much exposition or characters not problem solving during the 3 episodes, making the writing feel not as tight. Rascal consistently keeps cycles going on in each episode, making the story feel like it's always moving. Classroom's first arc is still great, it's just not elite. In conclusion...
That's crazy. Saying it's just not elite is wild. Come on, I see what you did there. But I'll be honest with you guys, and I'll say this as somebody who has read the light novels, and I read up to like year 2, light novel 4 or something. I think I stopped around when I got to, Amasawa Ichika and Hosen and all that. So I stopped somewhere around year 2, maybe volume 5 or whatever. Classroom of the Elite, it's mid, but it's also peak. And I know, you're going to be like, what the heck? The truth is, Classroom of the Elite, it's not like Death Note level. It's not this extremely good psychological anime, but it's kind of nice enough to the point where, I'll watch it. And I did somehow get myself into reading the light novels. But I'm done reading the light novels. Like, from now on, I'm just anime only. I'm not reading light novels, like, anymore, just in general. But, overall, I'd say Classroom of the Elite is like a 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's not really some extremely entertaining anime like Death Note, but it's just good enough to the point where, yeah, I'm willing to watch the episodes.
Classroom has a solid first arc due to its great engineering.
Like, I get why it isn't like super mainstream and super popular. Now, it used to be because there were so many Ayano Koji Kiyotaka glazers, and people were having him as their PFPs. Like, people were just glazing Ayano Koji at a certain point in time, man. They were saying he was smarter than Light Yagami, smarter than Johan Learbert from Monster, saying that he was smarter than Katagiri Yuichi from Tomodachi Game. Like, the glaze was insane. But yeah, end of the day, Classroom of the Elite, like, it's just kind of like a B+ anime. Like, it's good, but it's nothing like special.
Of the plot through problem-solving cycles. A lot of the times when I call a story boring, the immediate defense is,
I like it. I see why not everybody really likes it to that extent, though. I see why it's not like extremely mainstream.
You think it's boring because there's no action. Stories like this are the perfect counter to that nonsense. There's absolutely no action here. It captures my investment with great problem solving, which is the same thing that action stories do.
I guess anime is just kind of like a personal opinion thing. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, there are animes that are like mainstream that I probably don't like. And there are just, it really just depends, I guess, right? Everybody's different. Like, even Rent a Girlfriend, a lot of people hate that anime, but I find it humorous. Like, it's just kind of comedic. There's also even Eminence in Shadow. Eminence in Shadow isn't like extremely mainstream, but I like it. Sid Kagano is a funny MC.
A problem can be solved with words or fists. As long as there's always a problem that needs to be solved, your writing can avoid being boring. Advanced techniques like incremental solution and nested problems make the problem solving more interesting. Subscribe for more academic analysis on anime.
Yeah, pretty good analysis. Yeah, ultimately, Classroom of the Elite, I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes the episodes do feel a little bit bland at times. And sometimes it does feel like the story isn't like moving to a huge degree, but it eventually picks up like after 2-3 episodes max. Ultimately, Classroom of the Elite, I give it an 8 out of 10.